Welcome to the Ada K Show. I'm your host, Ada K, and I am a criminal justice major. I am also a deaf courtroom commentator, breaking down the gripping courtroom drama while providing full ASL interpretation, making justice accessible to everyone. Grab a cup of Java and let's dive in. And don't forget, comment, like, and subscribe. And if you love this channel, please become a member. Good morning, everybody. Test, test. I hope you can hear me. I can't hear me. Oh, there I am. Hi, y'all. Happy post-Christmas. Happy pre-New Year. We're smack dab in the middle of the holiday sandwich, and I got the yawnies. How are you guys? Long time no see. Excuse me. We are back in court. We've got 2 hearings today, and we will be there for every word of it. Sorry about that. I hope and trust everybody had a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous holiday season. And if it wasn't fabulous, it's okay. Sometimes quiet, peaceful is fabulous. I had both. My daughter and I were blessed to go to Boerne, Texas for a wonderful Christmas Eve outdoor worship candlelight service type thing. It was wonderful. We thoroughly enjoyed ourselves. And then, of course, Christmas with my daughter and son. Most importantly, yesterday was my papa's 91st birthday, y'all. 91 years of age. He's out of the hospital, out of rehab. He's continuing his recovery at home. We are so blessed. I'm clearing something out while I'm talking to you. We are so blessed and excited for that. Y'all, 91, anything and everything can take you out. And this man is strong, although he was borderline wishing it would take him. He really struggled. For those who don't know, my dad ended up having a blocked intestine, and it was nasty. Nasty, nasty. Why is that doing that? Oh, there it is. Check. And so, very serious, but all is well, and he's home, and we're happy. Good morning, Miss June. Good morning, Boo. I know it's early for you. It is 6:30 in June's time, and thank you so much for waking up and hopping on. Also, Miss Honey. Thank you for hopping on, Miss Honey. Good morning, Miss Honey. Good morning, Miss June. Thank you so much for hopping in. All right, a quick court rundown. First of all, I want to tell you, I'm going to be grouchy about this court feed. I am going to be so grouchy about this court feed. It is one of the worst looking court feeds we've ever had. Hello, Sarah. One sunny day. Good morning. So the case we're into right now is the state of Tennessee versus Zachary Adams. Overview of this case. The Zachary Adams case stems from a high-profile Abduction and Redom of Holly Bobo, a 20-year-old nursing student who disappeared from her family home in rural Decatur County, Tennessee on April of 2011. It did remain unsolved for many years until Adams and several co-defendants were charged. The date of the disappearance was April 13th. She was last seen outside her home with a man her brother initially believed to be her boyfriend. When it became clear she was missing, a massive search ensued. Her remains were discovered more than 3 years after in the wooded area in Decatur County. My monkey is driving me crazy for something. I'll have to go deal with her in a minute. The defendant in this case is Zachary Adams, was accused of kidnapping, participating in her E-part and Red Room, and acting with multiple accomplices. The prosecution alleged Adams was a principal actor in the abduction and Red Room with others. Hold on. Sorry about that, guys. The monkey was getting too loud and I didn't want it coming across on the microphone. So, key evidence presented at trial were testimonies of co-defendant and jailhouse informants, circumstantial evidence linking Adams to the time of the disappearance, statements allegedly made by Adams and others regarding the crime, forensic and location evidence tying the defendant to the disposal area. Allergies, guys. Notably, the case lacked direction, physical. It did not have direct physical evidence, such as DNA, conclusively linking Adams to the victim, making witness credibility paramount and central issue. Right now, we appear to come. Water's been shut off. Okay, I'll take care of it. We have no water. That's odd. I paid the bill. That is strange. I'll have to check that out. It's a Monday. He was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. The appeals process, since his conviction, he did a direct appeal, post-conviction relief, all of that stuff. So, current status at the present, he remains incarcerated, and that is where we are. That's where we are, folks. So, we have a court fee. Let me pop here. I've got to call the water company because I know we paid our bill. And I don't know why it's off, but it is. I'm doing the search. It has been a week of it. Last night, my poor son, y'all, my poor son, he got grill cleaner splattered in his eye. And unfortunately, I had to take him to the ER. Fortunately, my son's eye itself did not get any cleaner in it, but the eyelid and below the eye and all that did. That's weird. So let me. I don't know if we have a water thing going on around, but I paid the bill. Yo, this is a Monday. Ah! Monday, go away. Monday, go away. We don't want you today. I'm going to call today Tuesday. Can we call today Tuesday so I don't have Monday problems on Tuesday? Can we? Can we, please? That would be fabulous. Can we do that? Anybody have a problem with that? I'm checking in on what's going on. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, at least Sarah. That would be funny. That would be funny. But you know what the problem with that is? It blistered his eyelid. It blistered the eyelid. It was bad. Oh, the cats are at play. We don't have sound. Are you kidding me? Court does not have sound. Look, guys, I got my sound on. Let me.
Good morning, sir. Could you state your name for the court?
Forrest Richardson,
And could you spell your last name for the court reporter?
Richardson.
Could you tell the court what your occupation is?
I'm an investigator for the Tennessee Comptroller of the Treasury.
And how long have you been there?
4 years.
What type of educational background do you have and professional background?
I have my bachelor's and master's in accounting. I'm also a certified public accountant and a certified forensic interviewer. I began my career working.
So, no sound from the court.
4 years.
When did you become licensed as a CPA?
2020.
And when did you get your license as a forensic interviewer?
Sound.
And
Yes.
you work at the comptroller's office in the Division of Investigations.
Yes,
So
sir.
could you tell the court what do you deal with on a daily basis?
So as an investigator, I investigate allegations of fraud, waste, and abuse of state funds and local government funds. Our office receives allegations of fraud, waste, and abuse from all over the state. We go out and perform an investigation, interview individuals for information, collect records, perform an investigation, and report our findings to the local district attorney, and they make all charging decisions from that point on.
As part of this matter, were you approached or your agency approached to perform any type of review of some records?
Yes, our office was approached by Ms. Jennifer Nichols about performing analysis of Ms. Thompson's ACAP billing records, just to present that information in a manner that would be more easy to understand generally how much time she spent working on this case and what areas she spent her time in.
So let's break that down for everyone. What is ACAP?
So ACAP is, I'll go a little step further back. So the state has an indigent representation fund, which is used to pay for the representation of individuals who need state appointed attorneys. And that fund is administered by the Tennessee Administrative Office of the Courts through their ACAP system, which is the AOC claims and payment system. State appointed attorneys submit their hours through that system to the Administrative Office of the Courts to receive payment for their services.
So I'm sure the lawyers and the court are aware of how this works, but could you give an explanation as to what does an attorney have to put into the system to get paid?
So on each ACAP claim form, an attorney has to list by date the activity performed on the case, where they provide a detailed description of their work, the amount of hours worked, either whether that was in court or out of court for that activity, or they can also list expenses on a line on that form as well.
And our General Nichols came to you with certain records that we received from the AOC for Jennifer Thompson's billing for this case. Is that right?
Correct.
Okay. And as part of your testimony, did you prepare a PowerPoint?
I did.
Okay. And Judge, I'd like to just put that on the screen.
Objection.
No.
I have copies for it. Pass this up to the clerk. Mr. Richardson, would you like a copy to look along with, or are you okay with the screen?
I'll take a copy. Thank you.
Jump to page 4. So, in reviewing these records, what was your aim?
So the purpose of our limited analysis of this was to not necessarily draw any conclusions about the quality of Ms. Thompson's work, or whether the amount of work she performed was sufficient. We just wanted to provide a summary of her billing data, which would make it more easy to understand for the court's purposes. Generally.
On, I think, the 6th page, after we provide you the initial documents received from the AOC, did you go back and receive a more complete record?
Yes, so the initial records that we received did not include any billing data for May 2017 or September 2017. September 2017 being the month of the trial. And so once we met with the folks at the AOC and looked through some of the data in their system, they discovered that they had not provided September 2017, and that was caused by an issue with, so they have the AOC has an audit process for all of these claims that come through. And because Ms. Thompson's time in September 2017 had gone over certain thresholds where she was working more than 8 hours in court hours, or more than 12 out of court hours on several given days, they have a process where they're required to then contact that attorney and say, okay, you've gone over certain thresholds, we need more timekeeping records. Ms. Thompson did not follow up with those additional timekeeping records. And so therefore that claim was never actually paid for September 2017. But they were able to still pull the data that she had originally submitted for her time worked for that month.
Gotcha.
But there was no claim that she submitted for the month of May 2017.
Okay. If you could turn to the, I think it's the 7th page, it's the ACAP claim form.
Yes. So this is an example of what an ACAP claim form looks like, and this is one of Ms. Thompson's forms from June 2017. As you can see on the screen, these are listed by date, activity, in-court hours and out-of-court hours, or necessary expenses if necessary. The reason that hours are broken out by in-court or out-of-court is because those hours are paid at a different rate. In-court hours are paid at a higher rate. And you'll see in the activity column just some examples of what these descriptions look like. And they are fairly detailed, which gives us insight into what Ms. Thompson was actually working on for each of these lines. For example, you see receive and review email from ADA Ragland regarding duplicate copy of lab reports. That's fairly specific. You can get an idea of what specifically she was working on. And so that gave us, it's these descriptions that gave us insight into how she allocated her time working on this case.
Did you find the description she's provided to be detailed?
Yes.
Okay, so moving on to, you get all these documents from the AOC. They're in PDF format.
Correct.
So you need to take, is it true that you need to take the information on that PDF file and put it into another format to be able to do your job?
Correct. So luckily the PDFs were in a searchable format. For example, if you were to open a PDF, you could search for a keyword and find that, which made conversion of those PDFs to Excel very easy. We have a software called the Abby software, which allows us to run those PDFs through the software, and it will convert all of those to Excel. And once that data is in Excel, it's much easier for us to use that data and summarize that data.
So the next slide, which is billing data in Excel.
Yes. And so this is what that billing data now would look like after that conversion process. I believe once it was into Excel, it was around 2,300 lines of billing data after that conversion was complete.
So how do you go about this task? That you have thousands of lines of entries. How do you start making buckets to put these entries into?
Yes. So the first analysis that I performed was to look at Ms. Thompson's allocation of time. And to do that, I had to create various categories that I could then assign to each of those lines of billing data. And then once those were all categorized, we could then summarize her time by those categories. And so I had to create these categories myself and assign them myself. The ACAP system now has its own categories built in, but they did not institute those categories until September 2017, which was the month of the trial.
So to clarify that, before the month of the trial, an attorney on an appointed case could put the time entry in, but not have to click on a category in which the time entry relates to.
Correct.
And now there's a separate menu on ACAP where you have to designate the category and the work done.
Correct.
So on the next slide, we have categories ACAP versus your department, the comptroller's office. Why did you come up with your categories?
So my categories are similar, but I did them a bit differently. And you'll notice that in the ACAP categories, you have category 6, which is telephone calls, or category 5, which is correspondence. And I didn't think that those were very descriptive. And I had used those as categories originally, but when I summarized the data, the largest categories by hours were telephone calls and meetings, which is not very descriptive to tell you how she's spending her time. And so I created more detailed categories such as communication with defense team and experts, communication with client and family, that sort of thing. And I can talk a little bit more about how I determined which lines belonged in each of those more specific
I'd like you to explain
categories.
how you defined and figured out where to put what.
So looking through the billing data, there were many instances, which I think you could see on that example, like it would say call with and list an individual's name, or meeting with and list an individual's name. And so I was able to determine, sometimes by context clues, it would say, it may list that person's name and list in the description that they were an expert, or list that they were a mitigation specialist. And so I tried to determine who each individual was and assign those individuals in a separate area to categories, and say, okay, this attorney is a member of the defense team, or this individual is a representative of the court. And that allowed me to put those meetings and phone calls into categories based on that individual's affiliation to the case.
Okay. Let's jump to Jennifer Thompson total hours worked. That is page. Page 22.
Okay, so this is, and real quick, I had categories that we showed up on screen, which were the major categories, which I had 10. I also had 39 subcategories, and each of those subcategories fit within those major 10 categories. And so this is a chart showing the breakout of Ms. Thompson's total hours by subcategory. And so on this, and since there's 39 of them, this is a very large chart. I think on the next page I had shown just the top half, but zooming is fine as well. And so this gives you an idea of how her hours were broken out, or how she allocated her time to each of these subcategories. And as you can see, with discovery review and records review, trial prep being the top several categories.
So for discovery review, how many total hours were you able to find in your review that she performed that work?
366.2 hours. And just to give some insight into how I would assign those categories, I was really, it's all based on what she included in her description. So if she, in her description, talked about discovery or discovery review, that item would fall under the discovery review category, which could be different from records review, because you may have a line item where she talks about reviewing certain records, but it doesn't necessarily mention discovery. And so that would just fall under records review.
How many hours were you able to find for trial preparation of Ms. Thompson for this case?
265.5 hours.
What about defense team meetings and calls?
226.8 hours.
Motions, orders, and briefs?
202.5 hours.
What about witness interviews and research?
157.4 hours.
Further down, does it give a time for her work during the trial?
Yes, 74.2 hours.
And does it allocate, or did you find work done for focus groups in her billing?
I did, and that was 41.8 hours.
We're going to jump to Jennifer Thompson allocation of time worked by category. It's pie chart.
Yes, and so as I was saying, I had, as charts we were just looking at were these subcategories, and this is the 10 large categories, which all of those subcategories are organized under. And so the largest piece of the pie here would be evidence, records, and gathering and review, which would include some of those, the discovery review, records review, evidence review.
And this is from September 1st of 2015 through September 30th of 2017, correct?
Correct.
So this didn't encompass any time spent on the motion for new trial?
No.
Or the appellate work?
No.
On the next page, can you tell the court about how you determined the average or hours per week worked on this case for Ms. Thompson?
Yes, so the next analysis that I performed was to summarize her billing data by average hours per week. And I wanted to show that average hours per week by calendar quarter, just because, when you look at these large numbers, it's hard to digest and compare that to something and get an understanding of if that's a reasonable amount of time or not. And so I thought, showing an average hours per week would be an easy comparison to the 40-hour work week. Everyone can look at that and say, okay, now I can understand how much time she was spending on this case on a given week. And I decided to summarize that by quarter, just so that we would only have 9 bars in our chart rather than 25 if you were to show that by month.
But you did have some missing data from the month of May.
Yes, as I said earlier, there was no billing data submitted for May 2017, but we were able to look at James Simmons's time and see that he had listed on his ACAT billing records for the month of May 2017 that he listed multiple occasions where he said he was working directly with Miss Thompson and for 9.1 hours during that month. And so based on that, it seemed clear that Miss Thompson did work on the case during that month. We just didn't have data for that month. And so as a result, I did not include May 2017 as a part of my average for the second quarter of 2017. And I did that to avoid that skewing the data. So if I included zeros for that month, it would have brought down that average, but it wouldn't have necessarily been representative of her actual average hours worked per week.
Because we just don't know.
Because we don't know what her time worked was, but we can tell from, it appears from Mr. Simmons's time that she was working on the case that month.
Okay. If I want to jump to the graph on that, which is, I think that's it right there.
Yes.
Can you tell the court what's going on here?
Okay. And so this chart shows Ms. Thompson's average hours worked per week by calendar quarter for our scope. And as you can see, generally her time worked on the case increased over time, as you'd expect. And you can see in Q1, and Q2 2017, she's near 40 hours a week on average working on the case, with a significant bump in Q3 2017, which would be the 2 months leading up to the trial and the month of the trial.
Did you have the chance to compare her billing to Jim Simmons' billing?
Yes, I did a similar, found similar data on Mr. Simmons's time. And so we've got a chart where you can see the average hours worked per week by Mr. Simmons and Ms. Thompson. So there's the totals. You can see that Ms. Thompson did work significantly more time on this case than Mr. Simmons. A little over 1,000 more hours worked on the case.
So for, I think it was September 1st of 2015 through September 30th of 2017, you have found that she worked 2,870 hours on this matter.
Correct.
And what does this chart show?
And so this chart shows similar data to the previous chart. You can see the blue columns are the same data from that previous chart that show Ms. Thompson's average hours worked per week. But this one also includes Mr. Simmons' average hours worked per week. And so you can kind of see consistently she was working more hours per week on the case. And his time seems to follow a similar trend line with his hours per week increasing as they approach the trial.
And that's page 34. Moving on to, you looked at some collaborative hours?
Yes,
And
I
what's
did.
that?
So I decided to perform an analysis that showed the number of hours, average hours per week, where Ms. Thompson and Mr. Simmons were working together. So that would be based on Ms. Thompson's billing data, where she listed that she was specifically working with Mr. Simmons. So that would be any meetings or phone calls directly with Mr. Simmons.
And is this chart representative of that?
Yes, this is the chart that shows the average hours of the two worked per week across this scope. And you can see it does follow a similar trim line to the other charts where the amount of hours they work together increased or as they approach the month of the trial.
So you're finding billing entries by Jennifer Thompson saying that she's working with Jim Simmons during the times.
Yes.
And vice versa, you're also finding billing entries in Jim Simmons' work showing that he's working with Jennifer Thompson.
Yes.
And it's fair to say that they work together more as the trial approached?
Yes, that's what the data would show.
Judge, I would like to move that PowerPoint into.
Objection, Mr. Bates.
Done.
What's our next number exhibit?
148.
We'll make this exhibit 148. Mr. Boyano, I don't know if the exhibit that, are you gonna put it in as a PowerPoint on a thumb drive or the printed copy?
Either or. I mean,
Let's do the printed copy.
Okay.
But I will say that the court's version, the last page is analysis number 3 in the pie chart or the bar chart created that compares Jim Simmons with Jennifer Thompson. I don't have analysis 4 in the other graph.
then I'll put it.
My printed copy.
Well,
It might
then-
be on the,
Right. So how I will use a clean version of the PDF on a flash drive if the court is agreeable to that.
that's fine.
So I'll make that
No, no, no. Gremlin. Gremlins, be gone in the name. Guys, all right, I'll do it again. It's quick. I'll do it again. Oh my gosh, my buttons were all green. They were all green. All right. This is a current hearing and post-conviction relief where Zach Adams, convicted in 2017, was kidnapped, where the kidnapping and e-part and red room of Holly Bobo. He is stating the recantation of Jason Autry's testimony. Autry states he was a star witness and he's recanted his original testimony and claims that they were false or coerced. Claims of ineffective assistance of counsel. Also, the dispute over evidence. The defense is stating that the cell phone data that claims that places Adams at the bank in Pearson at the time of Honey Boo Boo's unaliving, and other investigative inconsistencies, allegations of prosecutorial or investigational issues. The hearing includes testimonies from former prosecutors, investigators about how the evidence and the witnesses were handled. Adams' own testimony, he took the stand and he continued to state, he stated then, he's stating now, I never admitted to unaliving Honey Boo Boo. The court must determine whether the recantation is credible. Whether the original trial was constitutionally flawed, and they must decide if new evidence create reasonable doubt in this case. That is the rundown, because we've had some people hopping in that are new and don't know what's going on. And gremlins be gone. Gremlins be gone. Gone. I need to create a little screen that my mods can pop up with a big ear, because I would see that better than I would the text. Holly Bobo, I hope she's at peace. Me too, honey. So that is where we are. Again, courtroom feed provided by Court TV. Thank you very much. Looks better than it did originally this morning, but it can be better now. All right, guys, that's where we are. Let's get back into court. Hi, Gremlin. We are going to get rid of the gremlins.
Mr. Richardson, what is this that I just passed out?
This is my comprehensive summary about the work that I performed related to this case.
Okay. And this is the summary cites numerous Excel worksheets and that you created for this data. Is that right?
Correct.
I want to turn your attention to the third page. The subcategories with over 100 hours worked. Discovery review, we have 366 hours. Is that right?
Correct.
And then we have records review, which is 266.
Correct.
Okay. Could you explain the difference between those two for the court?
Yes. So all of my categories were based, of course, on what was included in the descriptions that Ms. Thompson provided in her billing records. If it listed discovery as the purpose of whatever the activity was, then that would fall under discovery review. But there were instances where she described reviewing records, but did not mention specifically discovery. And so I categorize those as records review rather than including them in discovery review.
On the fifth page, you give additional information as to Thompson and Simmons' hours worked together. Could you tell the court what your findings were with those numbers?
Yes. According to Thompson's ACAP claims, she spent 390.7 hours working directly with James Simmons. Simmons' ACAP claim shows he reported 390.3 hours worked with Thompson.
So, of course, I'd say that's pretty close number between the two of them.
Yes, very similar numbers of hours that they reported working together.
Your Honor, I'd like to move this and the entire comptroller report into evidence.
Objection, no. All right, you're gonna include the summary as it.
I will.
is, or-
It's a large file, so I would like to do a flash drive on it as well.
Do a flash drive on that and enter this, let's just do them separately. We'll do the printed confidential investigative work product, Investigator Richardson as exhibit 150. And then exhibit 151 will be the flash drive. Is there a file name on it?
It's a folder. It's a comptroller financial report that
Make sure, let's just clarify that with the court reporter during the break when you
Sure.
submit it to the court.
will do.
Judge,
Yes,
we're
ma'am.
at exhibit 149 and 150.
Thank you. The confidential investigator work product is exhibit 149. And 150 with the flash drive with the entire report.
Mr. Richard, how could you tell the court how much Jennifer Thompson was paid for her work on this case?
I'm not sure if that's included in my summary here. I can't recall off the top of my head.
Those are my questions, Judge. Ask the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Morgan. Cross-examination, Mr. Bates.
In your report, do you remember reading an entry where Ms. Thompson reviewed ATM video footage in this case?
Okay, just to give you a little bit of information, okay, because I wanted to know more since I didn't watch this trial. Jennifer Thompson was Zach Adams' lead defense attorney during the 2017 Holly Bobo Red Room trial. In the current post-conviction hearing, she's testified that she was depressed and overwhelmed and did not believe she was an effective capital defender at the time. Wait, what? She testified. She was depressed and overwhelmed and did not believe she was an effective capital defender at the time. Her performance is now a major issue in Adams' claim. The current attorney, Doug Bates, is representing him post-conviction. He's the one calling the witnesses. Oh, shit. Oh my gosh, y'all. How does that hit y'all? Oh, y'all. I am shocked. How often does an attorney come and say, I was a bad attorney? Y'all, I'm a loss for words. How often does an attorney come up and say, you know what, Your Honor, I really sucked. I was depressed. I was going through personal issues and I should have recused myself. But I did not. Is that going to affect her if she's still practicing today?
Not specifically.
Nothing further.
Follow-up questions to that, Mr.
No,
Williams?
Your Honor.
Investigator Richardson, thank you for your testimony, sir. You can stand back.
Thank you.
Any reason the investigator needs to stick around? You're free to leave, sir.
That was before my time.
Yes, Your Honor. Same call, Michael Cassell.
Michael Frizzell.
I bet he gets a new case. I bet you he gets a new trial. How much you want to bet?
Good morning, sir.
Where did they go, sir?
You're fine. Stay
All right.
there. You put your stuff down and stand. Works right here, Michael.
You swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give will be the truth, the whole
We do have a poll up, you guys.
truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
I do, ma'am.
Proceed, sir.
Yes, sir.
Sir, could you state your name for the court?
Yes, sir. My name is Michael Frizzell, Frizzell.
And what is your occupation?
I'm
My
currently
insurance
the
guy is
assistant
Frizzell.
At the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation over the Administration Division.
And how long have you been with TBI?
A little over 27 years now.
Could you tell the court about your employment history with TBI?
I can. I started out as what we call as a field agent, had general case assignments. And I was assigned to the 28th Judicial District, which is Gibson, Crockett, and Haywood counties. At that time, that was from 1998 to 2007. In 2007, I transferred to headquarters in Nashville to our technical services unit. And I stayed in that capacity until 2017. And then I became over our police officer section, which handles various duties there, until I'm getting my dates mixed up. But anyway, past that, I became over our support group, and now I'm over the administration division.
And during your time at TBI, you were heavily involved, would it be true, with the technical services unit?
Yes.
And what experience and background and training did you have as part of that?
Well, we handled a lot of different things in that unit. One was the internet crimes against children. So I had background and training in those types of investigations. Others was phone related matters. And I was an operator of a cell site simulator. And then our aviation section was in that group at one point. So I performed duties with that, providing overwatch, operating camera system in the plane.
Hold on, guys. I know we're glitching again. I don't know what the hell is happening. That was weird. Here we go.
Yes,
I got you, Booze.
Do you know approximately how many times?
Maybe a dozen.
Do you maintain any professional certifications as part of that?
I've been out of this since 2019. From 2016 to 2019, I was part of the FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team. They call it CAST. And I had to go through a certification process to be in that group. And in 2019, my duties became so much at my home agency that I had to relinquish that and move on to my home agency.
Judge, at this time, I would like to tender him as an expert.
Objections, Mr. Bates?
No.
Cellular Analysis Survey Team.
Yes, sir. It's a group within the FBI that performs called detailed record analysis, drive testing, and other matters.
All right, what's the specific expertise?
The same as he testified before, which would be short called detailed analysis.
All detail record analysis.
Yes.
All right. You may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Back in 2017, you prepared a report for the state in this court that was, I think, entitled Bobo Cellular Analysis Report with, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And that was previously entered as an exhibit, I believe, during your testimony?
Yes.
Judge, I'd like to pass this up.
All right. Is this the?
It is. I believe it was.
Trial.
Yep, I believe it was previously marked in the trial as Exhibit 208. That's one for the.
Objections to submission here, Mr. Bates?
None.
All right, trial exhibit 208 will now be exhibit 151 for this hearing.
Mr. Rizal,
Explain what it is. Make
Yeah,
sure it
sure.
explains what it is.
Mr. Rizal, are you familiar with that document?
Yes, I am.
And what is it?
Sorry.
What is it?
It's a report. It's called FBI Cellular Analysis Survey Team. It's prepared by me as a TFO, Task Force Officer for the FBI. And it was dated August 31st, 2017, and 3 phone numbers were analyzed, 731-733-0191, 731-733-2073, 731-549-7352.
So that report contains certain phone numbers that the state specifically asked you to look at and do an analysis on
Yes,
for certain time periods.
for August 13th, 2011. Not
It-
August, April, excuse me, April 13th, 2011.
I want you, could you turn your attention to page 5?
Okay.
So here we have, I know I'm starting at the end here, but the 3 phone numbers you were asked to identify. Could you tell the court which 3 you were asked to look at?
731-549-7352. I believe that's the phone number associated with Holly Bobo. 731-733-0191. I believe that's a number that was associated with Mr. Zachary Adams. And then 731-733-2073. I believe that was the phone number associated with Mr. Jason Autry.
Sir, do you recognize that document?
Sir?
Do you recognize that document?
Yes, I do.
More recently, we asked you to look at some of the many of the numbers in this report and identify who those numbers belong to. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And have you had time to review that document?
yes, I have.
Okay. And is the information on it accurate to the phone numbers in your report and people associated with those numbers?
Yes.
Okay. Judge, I'd like to have that marked as the next number to be considered.
Objection. I will mark this as exhibit 152.
No, not right now.
Good morning, Joe Schmo is in the house. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Mr. Joe Schmo. By the way, y'all, gremlins are still up and about. We need to do a degremlin. We need to have a fun degremlinizing royalty-free chaotic music that we played to run the gremlins off this morning. We need to run off the gremlins. They've been out and about this morning. Now my hair's doing a thing. And get rid of all the gremlins. Woke up to no water. I knew I could have sworn I paid my bill and found out we have a broken water main. And then we're having some gremlins in court today. So, Joe, will you do us the favor? Stand up, do the hokey pokey, turn yourself around and say, gremlin be gone, and then maybe the gremlins will go away. Will you do that? No. So, guys, we've been dealing with gremlins. Oh, Angela, I hope you're not getting sick, boo. Take care of yourself. And by the way, my mods have a new button. And it's dangerous giving your mods buttons. Look what they can do. No sound. So when I'm talking and there's no sound, and the comments are small. Okay, guys, the comments aren't real big. I can't embiggen the comments on this program. So I may see it too late, but what they can do is they can go, and that will get my attention, don't you think? Like I told them, use it wisely. So now if there's no sound for whatever reason, whether it's me or the courts or something's going on and I don't know there's no sound, they can sit there and give me a very visual. Okay, so don't be surprised if that happens every once in a while. So enjoy the button. Mods, back to court.
I want to talk about what is
Watermelon.
The original records you looked at were all AT&T records. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And they come in a raw format. Is that right? Of activity records.
So they come in a format that's AT&T specific. Each carrier sends them different ways, but they'll come in a PDF form or a text form, sometimes both. But they have to demonstrate, if I may.
Page 4.
We're back to exhibit 151.
Yes, page 4. I think it was 208 in the original. I think so it lists the date of a call. It lists connection time. So what time the call started. When I say call, I should say communication event. It could be a voice call or a text message.
Mm-hmm.
And then what's called a seizure time. And the seizure time is when a person press send on the phone, and that's how many seconds that it's in the ring portion of the call. And then it lists the originating phone number, so the person making the call, and then the terminating phone number, the person receiving the call or the communication. I keep saying call. Then the elapsed time, how long that communication event occurred, and that can be minutes and seconds. And then it shows the number dialed. That's the actual number that was dialed by the originating party. And then there's a column called IMEI. That's called the International Mobile Equipment Identifier. So basically a serial number for the phone, for the device that was used. And then the IMSI, the International Mobile Subscriber Identity, that's basically the SIM card that goes in the phone, and that's the subscriber information that's on that card. And then there's another description column called mobile to mobile. It's a type of transaction. And then the cell location. And so the cell location provides the LAC, that's the location area code for all the cell towers located within a certain area. And then the next numbers past that, so like in this case, 16019, that's going to be the LAC / and then the next number, 31522, and I'm reading the top here, 31522. So 3152 is going to be the cell tower number. And then the last two is going to describe the sector for us. And then AT&T lists the longitude, then latitude of where that cell tower is located. And then the last number is the half beam width of that sector. So in this case, and that's going to be the azimuth, like on a compass. So 120 degrees.
So with these documents you received from AT&T, you're able to tell what phone calls another phone.
Yes.
And these records reflect who's the sender and who's the receiver.
Well, it reflects on what number communicating with the other phone number.
How long the call lasted for?
Yes.
And the records give you information regarding the actual phone that makes the call, like the identity of the device.
Say that one more time.
So these records will give you the identity of the device that made the call.
Well, it gives us the phone number that was used, and then if the identity of the device is the IMEI, that's the equipment identifier. So basically, the serial number for the phone.
Gotcha. You give them the information about what sector that the device is on
Yes.
each individual tower.
Yes, we can see where the tower, what the tower number is, the tower location, and then the direction of the sector that was used.
Can you explain briefly to the court, like what these sectors are and how they work with towers?
Yes. So let's use the clock on the back of the wall back here. So it's a good way to do this. It's analog clock. So from 12 to, cell towers, they have to cover 360 degrees. So in order to do that, instead of having what they call an omnidirectional, so one antenna is just broadcasting 360 degrees, they need to, for network capability and make it more user-friendly for people, so they can divide this into sectors. So generally they're in 120 degree pies, I'll call them. So 3 of those make 360. So let's say from 12 o'clock to 4 o'clock would be sector 1. So each hour hands are 30 degree. So 1 would be 30, 2 would be 60, 3 would be 90, 4 would be 120, 12 being 0, like on a compass. So 12 to 4 is 120, 4 to 8 would be the next 120, 8 to 12 would be the next 120. So sectors 1, 2, 3. They're not always numbered 1, 2, and 3. You can add more antennas, and they could be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. They can keep going as long as they keep adding more antennas to cover more for their sector.
And could you explain how the azimuth works on these towers?
So we need to know what direction that sector is pointing. So they give us this 120 degrees right here. So you take that's the half beam width, and so you can go 60 one way, 60 the other way, and develop which way the sector is pointing.
In 2011, were most of these towers divided into these 3 sections?
Yes,
And within those 3 sections, the towers, would it be fair to say, is listening as to what a device is doing and able to capture if the device is active?
I'm not sure I understand that question.
If a phone is able to connect with that tower within one of the 3 sectors, it's able to measure and to tell what the phone is transmitting.
So in the records, the only thing that's captured in these call detail records is when a phone actually connects to a tower. So example, I'm holding my phone up, it's turned off right now, so it's not doing anything. It's not registering with the network at all. If I were to turn this phone on, it's going to start registering with the networks. It's going to look at all the towers around. And it's going to constantly take measurements, and it's going to determine when I press the send button, if I want to make a call or if I want to send a text message, it's going to determine which tower it connects to based on the strongest and cleanest signal. So to answer your question, the only thing we see in these records is when a communication event occurred. When it's in idle mode and there's no communication going on, we don't see that.
What about if it's off?
No, we don't see anything.
So it would be fair to say you actually have to be getting a call, place a call, or a text, some activity to be able to see.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. Let's talk about generally pings and differentiate that from cell towers. You testified at the original trial about pings that were done on Holly Bobo's phone on April 13th, 2011. How is a ping different than looking at cell phone activity?
So a ping is when the network is actively trying to locate the phone. So in this case, the Decatur County Sheriff's Office contacted AT&T and asked them to try to locate that phone. So they send some sort of signal out. They're trying to reach into the phone and get it to respond. And so what these pings do is they give what they call a confidence level rating. And so AT&T in this case gave us the latitude and longitude to plot on a map. It's based only on the tower. It's not GPS satellite latitude, longitude.
Did that exist on the phones you were looking at this time?
So I know once her phone was located, it was examined, and the FBI examined it too. So I talked to the examiner, and no GPS information was located on her phone.
So we have a ping with an area and a confidence rating. Is that right?
That's right.
And within the area of the ping, what more information can you glean from that ping in which direction the device is within the area?
So what we do is we plot that latitude, longitude, that point on Earth that they give us. And then from that point, we take the confidence level rating, and they always give it in meters. And so I remember the first one, I think, was 4,448 meters. So you take that, and that's the radius. So you go from that point, I'm just describing, you go 4,448 meters each direction from that point. And that's going to give you a diameter. And so we complete a circle that way, and that's the area that the device could be located in. So it's not an exact location at all.
So I want to turn your attention to what's up on the screen. I think it's page 9, 10 on the report. So we have, I believe, was the first ping the AT&T location at 8:57 a.m.
Yes, would it be okay if I step down and, Your Honor, and point to this? This is in black and white, and it's kind of. Yes. So you're talking about this 8:57, can you hear me okay? This 8:57 a.m. ping here? Ask me your question again, please.
Thank you, Joe.
What that means in terms of where the device is in that area.
We don't know. It's just somewhere in this circle. We don't know.
Don't know if it's north, south, east, west.
No. So what I can describe to you is that ping is, looks to me is that spot, this top right one that. If we were to draw a line up this sector on that tower right there, it looks like it's in the center of sector 1 to me.
The next ping was at 9:02 a.m.
Yes.
And what is the, how big is that ping area?
4,894 meters. That's the radius. That's one direction. Then we have to go back the other direction to get our diameter. We convert that to miles and figure it out.
It's a large area.
It's a very large area. So I would estimate this first one's about 24 square miles. I would estimate this second one. I'm gonna be wrong if I say this, so I'm gonna add 28 square miles roughly. We need to double check me on that.
But what about the third one?
The third one's even bigger. So it's cut off here. This one's at 910. Yes, 910. 910. This is 7,100 square meters radius. And that's about 60 or 61 square miles. So in other words, it's a little bit larger than the city of Jackson, Tennessee.
And again, that you have that area, but you can't tell north, south, east, or west where that device is in that area.
No, sir.
I want to turn your attention to page 10 in your report. This looks like it is tracking the activity of Zach Adams' phone.
What page did you say?
10.
Okay. Yes.
And let's start with the first time. The first time his phone comes up in your report is at 8:19. Is that right?
Give me 1 second, please. On this page, yes, for some reason I had in my mind, yes, on this page at 8:19, that's correct.
Because you've done other places in this report, it shows activity before 8:19, early in the morning. Is that right?
Yes, 454 and 458. That's on page 14, yes.
And this diagram that has a 3-2, what does that represent?
So that represents the sector. 2 being sector 2, 3 being sector 3. So I need to point out too, these sectors, they're perfectly 120-degree angles here. And so, and this little, I'm gonna step back down if that's okay, Your Honor? Sure. Yes, sir. So this area here, that's just demonstrates the direction of the radio frequency, how it's going out. It doesn't mean that it stops here. It doesn't mean that the it's in a crisp line going out either way. So I just want to make that clear. So what this would actually look like would be an irregular shaped polygon out that way. You can have little areas out here, little areas out here, little area out there that it may cover. But the 2 and the 3 represent the sector.
And the sector 2 of, and this is the cell tower by Birdsong, or the truck stop cell tower. Is that right?
Yes, it's up on Cox Road, up by the North 40 truck stop.
That is sector 2 of the truck stop cell tower is Zach Adams' home sector. Is that right?
Yes.
And each entry on here is tracking either a text message or a phone call. Is that right?
Yes. Yes.
And are you able to recognize the phone numbers that are on this? If you zoom in.
I can recognize some of them if I could get that exhibit back. So I don't have them devoted to memory.
Sure.
All right, the witnesses, and this is a report, exhibit 151. Is that correct, Mr. Boyan?
Yes.
Pulling this from 151.
This is 152.
And if you could be handed 152, if you could be handed 151 and 152, which is the
152.
so the first phone call at 8:19. Do you know who is? It's an incoming call, right?
That's correct.
Do you know who it's from?
2073, Mr. Autry, sitting attached to 091. Let me make sure I clarify. Mr. Autry's phone to Mr. Adams' phone.
And his phone is receiving that text message in sector 2 of Birdsong. Sector 2 of truck stop cell tower.
That's correct.
Okay. And if we, on the further down, we have a number 31523. That's this. Is that the same cell tower?
It is just on sector 3.
Okay. So at 8:53, his cell phone is jumping to the other sector of the tower. Is that right?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. And then at 8:58, it's registering off of back on sector 2.
That's correct.
Okay. If I could turn your attention back to your report on page 11.
Before you move to that, Brazil, when you were talking about the clock, you said 12 to 4 was sector 1, 4 to 8, sector 2, 8 to 12, sector 3. That's not what this is. You want to elaborate on that for me? please?
Yes, sir. So in general, I'm just using that as an analogy. Talk about 120 degree sector, what it looked like. So in this case, ATT tells us the half beam width for this sector was 120. So we take 60 degrees each direction of 120, and that's how we develop the sector here.
So it's not consistent from tower to tower.
No, sir, it's not.
You can ask follow-up questions there.
If I could draw your attention to page 11 of your report. what is this showing to us?
So this is depicting the phone number ending in 7352 and the phone number ending in 091, the towers they use and the sectors they use below. It also puts the ping information on here from 857, 902, and 910.
And what relevance is it that, because you're tracking Zach Adams' phone, which ends in 0191, is that right?
Yes. So,
And Holly Bobo's phone, which ends in 7352.
yes. So 7352 would be the pink. 0191 would be the blue. And then you can see this is not really pink or blue, so can't get a good color there. So it's kind of a mixture of the blue and the pink on sector 3 there.
Okay. Moving on to the next page, on page 12, you are looking at a phone number of 2073, is that right?
Yes,
Whose phone is that?
that is Mr. Jason Autry's phone.
And where does Jason Autry's phone start the day?
This starts up using a tower up here in Camden, Tennessee.
And does it, what time is the first activity on that phone?
6:50 a.m.
Is it a call or a text message?
That's a text message. SMS stands for short message service. It's a text message.
And does Jason Autry's phone begin to move south that morning?
He used the next tower. It's let's say 51, 651. 651. He uses a tower further south, located on 641. So you look at this sector, it's using the southern facing sector on this one at 650. It's using sort of a eastern facing sector on the next tower at 651. It's further south.
By 8:19, where is his phone?
Starts using sector 1 on the what you call it.
Okay, how long was that up there? I didn't touch that. I didn't touch that. Gremlins, get the hell out of my channel. Oh, that pisses me off. Oh, that pisses me off. I didn't touch anything. I don't know why. What this is gremlins are pissing me off today, y'all. Hold on. Nope. Why is this going this way? Hold on. I don't know why this thing keeps popping up. I don't know why we're having a gremlin unless they did some changes in this, and I don't know that they've done the changes. This shouldn't be showing my camera that way either. So I need to back this up a few minutes. I don't know how much y'all missed. I'm going to back it up. Just a second. That is so frustrating.
And this is
Give me a second.
31521.
There it is.
Being the northern for one sector of truck stop tower.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. At 8:52, does Mr. Autry's phone move to another sector?
At 852, it moves to sector 2 of that same tower.
Okay. And Is that a text message or a phone call?
Day 52, that's a voice call
Okay. To who?
to Mr. Adams' phone.
What about at 8:55 a.m.?
Same thing, voice call to Mr. Adams' phone.
On page 13, this is tracking, is it true, Mr. Autry's phone between 8:42 and 10:48?
Yes.
Okay, so tell the court what's going on from where it begins and where it ends up.
So at 9:42 a.m., we see activity on a tower located right on I-40, the Birdsong exit. And we see it using sector 7 of that tower. This sector 7 points out toward the river. And then at 10:35, we see it move to sector 9 of that Birdsong tower, which points back to the west, in a western direction. Then at 10:36, still on sector 9 of that Birdsong tower. At 10:39, we see them using the truck stop tower, sector 2. And then again at 10:48, truck stop tower at 10:48. And those are AM.
So we have him. I'm gonna go back one. When was the last time he is? When Mr. Autry was in on truck stop tower? Previous page. Did he leave sector? Did Mr. Autry leave sector 2 of truck stop tower at 8:40 or 8:55?
No, 8:40, you use sector 1.
Sector 1. I'm sorry. At 8:55, he left. Mr. Autry left truck stop tower sector 2. Is that right?
In 8:55, he was on sector, his phone was on sector 2 of this tower right here, the truck stop tower.
Okay. And then the next what is the next activity on Mr. Autry's phone?
Can we go to the next page, please? The next activity was at 9:42. It's on sector 7 of the Birdsong tower.
Okay. So would it be fair to say that there's there is a gap in activity between those two times?
There was nothing in the records in between those two times.
Then from sector 7 of Birdsong, his phone, Mr. Autry's phone, travels to sector 9 of Birdsong. Is that right? At 10:35?
That's correct.
Okay. And then Mr. Autry's phone is back on truck stop cell tower sector 2 by 10:39 a.m.
That's correct.
Okay. Now I'd like you to jump to page 15 of your report. You see that okay?
Yes.
At the top, it's identifying cell phone number 731-733-0191, which is Zach Adams' phone, is that right?
Yes,
Okay. And the movement of that phone between 9:10 through 10:37 a.m. Is that right?
can you scroll up a little bit more, please, or zoom it out? No, it's from 9:10 up until 10:49 a.m.
Because it's jumping sectors.
It's changing tower sectors, yes.
So in regards to Mr. Zach Adams' phone, at 9:10 a.m., that phone is on truck stop sector 2.
That's correct.
At 9:12, he receives, well, is it a text message?
Yes, SMS, short message service, text message.
From 9:12, when does Mr. Zach Adams' phone next appear on the cell phone sector?
9:50. It's on the Birdsong Tower, Sector 7.
So we have a gap in time between, a gap in cell phone activity between 9:12 and 9:50 on Mr. Zach Adams' phone.
Yes,
And it starts, it leaves sector 2 of the truck stop tower at, let me phrase the question. The last time it's on the truck stop tower is 9:12 a.m. and then there's a gap.
yes, at 9:12, and then there's a gap. Next activity is at 9:50 a.m.
And that is on what tower and what sector?
Birdsong Tower, Sector 7.
Can I hear this? Yeah. I apologize for jumping around to different documents. I'm trying to make this easier as to identifying these numbers.
Sorry, the witnesses handed Zach Adams' cell phone activity April 13th, 2011.
Mr. Frizzell, if you could look at this document and see if it lines up with the calls starting at 9:10 on page 15 of your report.
No, sir, it doesn't.
Is there something missing?
Yes, 9:50 a.m. phone call.
59. The 9:50 incoming text message?
That's correct.
Actually, I wanted to ask a question about that. There is a 7-digit number there that, is that identifiable to a telephone number?
No, what I think that is called a short message code. And I don't know what it is. It could be from
Your Honor, witness doesn't know what it is.
Let's clarify which where you're getting it from, exhibit 151. Are you gonna enter this as new exhibit 153?
I'm talking from 151 right now.
Okay. Are you going to enter the document that he's been handed?
Yes.
Objections, Mr. Bates?
No, Your Honor.
To Mr. Adams' cell phone activity, we'll mark this exhibit 153.
So-
Now you're referring back to exhibit 151.
Yes.
Okay. And page 15,
Yes, Your Honor.
okay?
What is that 7-digit number?
Yeah, I don't know. It could be a short message code.
Your Honor, if he doesn't know, he doesn't know.
I'll move on.
Mr. Bates is objected and I'll sustain the objection.
So, although it's lacking, it's missing on this chart, could you write in that the next activity on Zach Adams' phone is 9:50
Where is he
AM.
writing in?
on the exhibit for, yes,
Are you gonna alter an exhibit that's already been entered?
yes, Your Honor.
That's fine, Your Honor.
Okay, all right, so let's be real specific and tell me what you're doing.
I would like the witness to enter the 9:50 incoming call SMS.
So there's a text message on Mr. Adams' cell phone between 9:10 a.m. and 10:03 a.m. that the witness is writing in a 9:50 SMS text message. Is that accurate?
Yes. If you would hand that back.
Do I need to initial this or?
Yes.
Yes, just initially.
Exhibit.
So you done with it? Mr.
He's done.
Boyle? All right, you pass it.
Thank you.
Confirm that's 153.
At 10:03, Zach Adams receives a call.
That's correct.
Do you know who that number is?
Joe's video.
Okay, so it's an outgoing call. So so he makes a call at 10:03 to Joe's video.
Yes.
The gavel is polished, the robes are pressed, and the 2025 Golden Gavel Award officially is on the line. Who brought courtroom command? Who took chaos and put it in check? Who made us all say, now that's a judge? After 3 months of nominations, countless comments, and some very passionate courtroom debates, these four rose to the top. Judge Everett and Dan Markell trial, Judge Boriski, Lori Vallow Daybell trial, Judge Kranick, Sarah Boone trial, and Judge Boyd, San Antonio, Texas judge. This race is tighter than a hot mic in court. Cast your votes and help us decide who takes home the Golden Gavel. Yes! Y'all go over into the YouTube, go to the post section. You will find where you can vote for the Golden Gavel. The winner will be announced during the New Year's Eve, almost at Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve live. Yeah, I know. I'm sitting on a heated pad, blankie, but my coffee keeps getting cold, y'all. I need one of those little square things that heats up and you put your cup on and it keeps it warm. Gosh, it gets cold so dang fast. Yeah, I know. Oh, just so you know, at 11 o'clock, we will be hopping over to the Taylor Robinson, the Charlie Kirk Red Rumor trial hearing, and then we will come back and fill with this. But that one, we're going to go over to that. You should be teleported when we do this. Hopefully you will be, because I set it up. So when I end this live, we will be teleported.
What about at 10:10?
That is an incoming call from a phone number associated with Mr. Shane Austin.
What about at 10:12?
That is an outgoing voice call to a phone number associated with Mr. Michael Hughley.
What about at 10:13?
That is an outgoing phone call to a phone number associated with Joe's Video.
What about at 10:15?
Same outgoing voice call to Joe's Video. There's a second call at 10:15. Also outgoing call to a phone number associated with Mr. Dick Adams.
At 10:16?
Let me look at that again. There's two 10:15 calls.
There's two.
There's two. One to Joe's Video, and then one to a number associated with Mr. Dick Adams.
Okay. What about at 10:16?
Did you say 16?
16, yes.
You gonna go through this entire list?
Yeah, just to identify
And
the,
just give us a time, give me the description of the call and who the numbers associated with
Yes, sir. So at 10:16, looks like there's an outgoing phone call to a number associated with Mr. Dick Adams. At 10:18, incoming text message from, no, I don't know what it is. And then At 10:18, an outgoing text message to that unknown number. Again, at 10:18, an incoming text message from that unknown number.
All right, now this is not the list that I've got. I'm not sure which, I'm going off exhibit 153.
153 is reflective of phone numbers we've identified to,
Just Mr. Adams.
yes.
So what list is he going off of?
He's going off of, I think, his report and text messages and phone calls that we can assign to individuals. The short form text messages, we don't know who they belong to.
All right, so we're back on exhibit 151, page 15.
Yes.
Okay. We're now at 10:18.
Okay, and then we had two at 10:18, one outgoing and one incoming, both text messages from the unknown number. 10:19, the incoming call, phone number associated with Mr. Shane Austin. Another one at 10:19, outgoing call to a phone number associated, I think that's Joe's Video. At 10:20, outgoing voice call to a phone number associated with Mr. Shane Austin. 10:23, incoming text from an unknown number. When I say unknown number, I mean, I don't know what it is. At 10:24, incoming phone call, voice call from a phone number associated with Mr. Dick Adams. 10:25, incoming text message, number's not recognized on what it is. 10:29, outgoing text to a phone number associated with Rebecca Earp. 10:30, outgoing text to a number associated with Rebecca Earp. 10:31, incoming text from a number associated with Rebecca Earp. At 10:32, outgoing text, phone number associated with Rebecca Earp.
From there, does Mr. Zach Adams' phone move to another sector of the Birdsong Tower?
Yes, that's correct, sector 9.
And he has can you continue to identify those calls?
Okay, at 10:35, an outgoing voice call to a phone number associated with Mr. Dick Adams. A second, 10:35, outgoing voice number to Mr. Dick Adams. 10:36, incoming text from a number associated with Rebecca Earp. At 10:36, an outgoing call, voice call, the phone number associated with Mr. Dick Adams. And at 10:37, an outgoing text with a phone number associated with Rebecca Earp.
From there, does Mr. Zach Adams' cell phone move to another cell phone tower?
Yes, at 10:38, it moves to sector 2, what we're calling the truck stop tower.
Can you finish out the list and identifying those numbers?
Starting at 10:38.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 10:38, that's an outgoing text. The phone number, Rebecca Earp. 10:39, outgoing text to Shane Austin's phone. At 10:40, incoming text from number don't recognize. At 10:40, outgoing text to an unrecognizable number. Again, at 10:40, same thing. Third time at 10:40, same thing. Excuse me. Let's do the 10:40s again. 10:40 a.m. Incoming text. Don't know what that number is. 10:40 outgoing text. Don't know what the number is. 10:40 outgoing text. Don't know what the number is. 10:40 incoming text. Don't know what that number is. 10:42 incoming text from Rebecca Earp's number. 10:42 outgoing text and unknown number. 10:43 outgoing text to Rebecca Earp's number. 10:43 incoming text from Shane Austin's number.
And then Zach Adams' cell phone moves to the western sector.
10:49, it moves to sector 3 of that truck stop tower. It's an incoming text from that unknown number.
Thank you. I know that was tedious. Thank you for going through that. I want to bring your attention back to your report. Can you tell us where exactly these cell phone towers are in relation? So the truck stop tower, where is that?
Basically at the intersection of 641 and I-40 is just a little bit north of that. Across the road from the, I think it's called the 19 truck stop now. Back then, I think it was called North 40 truck stop. That's where that one's at.
And the Birdsong Tower, can you identify that for us on the map up here?
This is the Birdsong Tower. I forget the exit number 133, I'm thinking. Or I-40, it's right there along I-40.
And I'm going to zoom in on this. So you have sector 7, that's facing the river?
Yes, it's pointing, the direction's going out this way, east, northeast.
So
The witness is looking at zoomed in page 15 of exhibit 151, zoomed in on the tower in the middle of the page with sectors 9 and 7. Go ahead.
Thank you. And the activity off of Zach Adams' cell phone that you read before down here, which is from 9:50 through 10:32. Can you show the court exactly where, what area that activity was?
Somewhere in this sector 7.
Y'all, I know that this is very boring stuff, but it is important. It is vitally important. And this trial is interesting. I don't know if this is enough to get him a whole new trial, but an ineffective counsel would. Joe, did you hear that his lead counsel said that she was depressed and struggling and was not competent to handle this trial? She was not a competent litigator for someone who has a DP case. It was over her head. She admitted that, Joe. What are your thoughts on that?
So you've gone through the movement of Jason Autry's cell phone and Zach Adams' cell phone. Could you tell the court significance as to where those two phones are moving from the truck stop tower?
Good morning.
Towards the Birdsong Tower that morning?
Well, I can't tell you where the phones were. All I can tell you is they used these towers where I noted these sectors. Anywhere in these sectors is where the phones could be. So if you hand over from sector 7 and then go to sector 2 on this, it indicates to me that the phone's moving. I just don't know where.
Is there, based on the data that you looked at, do you have an opinion about Zach Adams and Jason Autry being together based on the cell phone usage?
So they both made outbound phone calls. I believe it was at 10:35.
Can you identify, you show us in the report where that is?
And out. This is Mr. Autry's phone number we're talking about here. At 10:35 a.m. an outgoing voice call to a phone number. I think we said that was associated with Mr. Dick Adams, I think. Yes, Mr. Dick Adams. As far as Mr. Autry's phone, I would need to look. It's on page 13 of my original report. Outgoing voice call at 10:35. He's on Mr. Adams' phone number ending in 2073. He's on sector 9 of the Birdsong Tower.
And the next activity on Jason Autry's phone is sector 2 of the truck stop tower, correct?
Well, at 10:36, he was still his phone was still using sector 9 of the Birdsong Tower. And then in 3 minutes, 2:39, using the sector 2 of the truck stop tower.
So at 10:36, Jason Autry's phone is showing activity off of sector 9 of the Birdsong Tower.
Yes.
And at 10:39, it then shows Jason Autry's phone having activity off of the truck stop tower in sector 2.
Yes.
It's traveling. Okay, move on.
If you jump back to page 15, this is, and we look at on sector 9 of Birdsong at 10:37 for Zach Adams. I think it's the bottom right entry.
Yes.
What is the next entry? Or sign of activity of the phone? Of Zach
I'm sorry, I didn't understand. Ask me
I'm
that.
sorry, what was from 10:37, Zach Adams' phone is showing activity off of sector 9 of Birdsong, correct?
That's correct.
When is the next sign of activity for Zach Adams' phone?
10:38 p.m. sector 2 of the truck stop tower.
So you just went talked about Jason Autry's activity during that time, and now Zach Adams. Does that mean anything to you?
They're not calling each other. I know that. Their phones are not calling each other. They both made outbound calls at the same time using the same sector, the same tower. It's possible that they were together.
Their phones are both at one time off of Sector 9 Birdsong, and then minutes later active off of Sector 2 of Truck Stop. Is that right?
That's right.
Good observation, June. We're going to talk about that. I got some info.
Page 16.
Okay, since you brought that up, let's take a quick pause because I want to talk to you guys about that. Okay. So the defense is asking the court to disqualify the entire oh, never mind. Wrong information. My bad. Okay, here's the correct information. When the question I wanted to answer was, when can a second chair lawyer step in, and does it affect the ineffective counsel claim? Because that's basically what we were asking earlier, and it was a good question. June, that's a good legal question. If the lead attorney is ineffective and they have a second chair lawyer, when legally can that lawyer, step in? And if they do not step in, does the defense have a claim for ineffective counsel or after they've been found guilty, which is where we are? So there is no, legally, can a second chair step in at any time? Yes, they can. Legally, a second chair attorney can step in at any time. There's no law that restricts a second chair lawyer from taking over the questioning, arguing, or trial duties. The court may require, the court only requires that an attorney is licensed and properly admitted to the case. The judge is aware of who's speaking, and the defense team maintains orderly process. The second chair lawyer routinely takes over witness examination, objections, sidebar arguments, and portions of opening and closing. Okay, that is something that normally happens. Okay, and then if the second chair does not step in and the defendant claims ineffective counsel, yes, under the Strickland Washington standard, the defendant can argue ineffective assistance of counsel. This means that the performance was deficient. The defendant team actions fell below what they call prevailing professional norms. I'm sorry, I'm reading two things. Okay, thank you, June. Failing to step in when lead counsel is clearly impaired, unprepared, or ineffective, i.e. depressed and not capable of handling the level of case, i.e. being a DP case versus a life without possibility of parole, two different levels of counsel. Allowing damaged error or incorrections, not protecting the defendant's rights. The deficiency prejudice the outcome. The defendant must show failure likely affected to the verdict. This is the second Strickland prong, prejudice. So yes, if a second chair could have prevented harm but did not, that can support an IAC claim. Now, there's a couple of nuances, of course. The claim applies to the defense's team as a whole. That means that the overall performance of the defense, whether it's team, collective, or actions or harm of the defendant, If the lead attorney was failing and the second chair did nothing, the entire defense team can be found ineffective. And that is, I think, where they're going to go. When the judge expects the second chair to step in is when the legal counsel is confused, the legal counsel emotionally compromised. That is the one that they are going to put the nail in the coffin for. They're going to try to put a nail in the coffin, is for the lead counsel is emotionally compromised. The lead counsel is missing key objections. Lead counsel's violating procedure, or the lead counsel is unprepared for a witness. If the second chair sits silent, the record can later show misobjections, failure to impeach, failure to protect the defendant, and failure to correct errors, all of which means ineffective counsel. So that is your answer. That is your answer. So they are now focusing on evidence, but I think the best shot they have for ineffective counsel is going to be the one where they're dealing with the attorney.
This is this the Parsons cell phone tower?
Yes, down in Parsons, Tennessee, yes.
Mike Willis is looking at page 16 of exhibit 151.
And could you tell the court what activity is going on off of, is it sector 2 of the Parsons Tower? Is that south facing?
So associate the numbers.
Yes.
At 1116, and this is for, we're talking about on page 16, phone number ending in 0191. Sector 2 of the tower located in Parsons, Tennessee, which is south facing. Outgoing text message to phone number Rebecca Earp. 1122, incoming text from Rebecca Earp's phone. 1123, outgoing text to Rebecca Earp's phone. 1134, incoming text from Rebecca Earp's phone. 1143, outgoing voice call to Joe's video. 1143, incoming voice call from Cindy Adams' phone number. 1145, outgoing voice call to Joe's video. 1148, incoming text from unknown number. 1149, incoming text from unknown phone number. 1210, outgoing text to unknown phone number. 1210, outgoing text to unknown phone number.
And this was part of your original report that you testified to at trial, right?
Yes.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness?
You may.
This is going to be, I think, a multiple day hearing.
Okay, I would like to go through this map and have you identify some significant locations as it relates to the cell phone tower and different events in this case. So I think the first is let's do the cell phone towers.
Yeah, these locations already marked on here.
Some, yes, some.
I'm going to enter this board as an exhibit.
Probably, yeah.
Okay. describe it in general, and then let's enter it, and then you can make it. Okay, objections to this, Mr. Baker?
None.
We're gonna hear this map of the general area between I-40 and Parsons.
I think it may already be.
It is already marked, Exhibit 102, a smaller version of this, and we had mentioned that we were going to bring in this larger block. So this is a larger version of Exhibit 102, which was moved into evidence through Special Agent Ferguson.
Thank you, Madam Court Reporter. I believe that was Madam Court Reporter.
Mark on this, we'll need to mark.
Could be wrong.
Just for the court's record, and
Thank you.
yes,
Larger version of Exhibit 102, we'll mark it as Exhibit 154.
How about 102A? Why give it a whole new number? Keep it 102, 102A. Standard and enlarged. Keep it simple. May not be simple to them.
Okay, and I'm going to hand you some sticky notes. I want to identify the cell phone towers first.
Okay.
So we have the truck stop tower.
It's going to be right along here.
I like how he said that. Right along here.
And the birdsong tower.
It's going to be about right here.
Describe these type of stickers.
Yes, sir. That's
So
a blue sticker, sir, for the truck stop tower that's north of I-40 at 641. Placed a red circle sticker at the Birdsong Road I-40 intersection for the Birdsong Tower.
and I'll mark them.
You okay with, Mr. Williams, marking these, Mr. Baker?
Sure, Your Honor.
I hope they're more than sticky notes, so those stick to it.
we hope so.
More of a sticker or a sticky note.
Okay.
The Shiloh Tower.
Well, that's going to be a little difficult because it's right off the edge of this map. So
Could you put it as close as you think you can?
I'm going to put it right on the edge.
That.
Now put your writing upside down. I'm sorry. It's going to be just off the left edge of this board a little bit.
Look at his reaction, y'all. Look at his reaction. Something's going on here. This is key. This is where they're saying there's a problem. And look at his reaction. His body language speaks a ton. He's like, I wasn't there. That proves mine wasn't there.
Put your writing upside down. I'm sorry. It's going to be just off the left edge of this board a little bit. I think it's going to stick.
And that it's like keep yourself under control.
Towers, around
They know something's off. Something's not right here, y'all.
that Holly Bobo was phone connected to the morning of April 13th, 2011. Is that right?
Yes,
Okay, so can we walk through that?
yes.
And that's reflected in the report. I can question that as we go through it. Now, if you could chronologically go through the activity on each tower and tell me the tower I will.
Can we go to page 8, please?
This is Exhibit 151, page 8.
So it's starting at 7:30 a.m. This is phone number ending in 7352, known to be Holly's phone. She used a tower in Chesterfield, Tennessee. That's to the west of where she lives, along Highway 412. So she lived in the Darden community. The Chesterfield community is a little next one over, so unincorporated. She used that tower at 7:30, 7:31, 7:40. Let me back up. So at 7:30 and 7:31, she used the Chesterfield tower. 7:33, she transitioned that tower way down in Scottsdale, Tennessee. Two times outgoing text messages at 7:33. Then at 7:40, back on the Chesterfield tower. 7:42, used a tower in Decatur, Tennessee. 7:53, used the tower we've already mentioned, it's in Parsons, Tennessee. 7:54, used the tower in Decatur, Tennessee. 7:59, back to the tower in Parsons, Tennessee. 8:07, 8:09, 8:10, 8:11, Chesterfield, Tennessee. And then we see it moved to the Shiloh Tower up here at 8:17, and again at 8:26. And then it transitions to the Truck Stop Tower at 9:06.
And so how many towers do we have for this area?
6, her phone utilized that more.
And this is a pretty large area. Is that right?
It's half the county.
Okay. Is in your expertise and your opinion that that is a small number of towers for such an area?
Well, so we're talking about a rural area. So they use large towers called macro towers. They're tall, and they're going to cover a large area. Unlike where I live in Nashville, a urban area, there's going to be many more towers covering smaller areas, higher population.
On that board, we mark the Parsons Tower.
It's going to be somewhere right along in here.
Be a little more descriptive with the sticker and the location.
Sure. That so the green sticker would be representative of the Parsons Tower.
Yes.
The Bobo's home, where would that be on this map?
There's a house, a blue house, depicted on here already. On Swan Johnson Road.
Shane Austin's house, where is that on this map?
It's up at the northern end of Decatur County along Yellow Springs Road. It's depicted as a gray house on this map.
And Zach Adams' home.
Zach Adams' home is in the northern end of Decatur County, just south of I-40 along 641. It's depicted on this map as a black house.
There are two phones indicated down here. Do you know what those are for?
So one's a red phone, looks like a old phone time receiver. That's where Holly's cell phone was located. The other was blue in color, and that's where her SIM card was located. It came out of her phone.
Are there other items of her, from her person?
I wish they had done a PowerPoint so we all can see this because it's hard for me to follow. I am not a verbal educated person. I'm more of a visually educated person, and I'm really struggling to keep up with this.
On the map?
I'm going to be staying here, but I'm also going to go live in a minute over to the Charlie Kirk assassination, Taylor Robinson trial. There's going to be a hearing that starts at 11. I'm going to see if we can potentially do a dual stream. If not, we're gonna end this one and go over there.
There's a red pin with a bulb on it. Looks like a pin. It is labeled victim's property. That's up along Yellow Springs Road.
What about the blue pin?
Oh, there's a blue pin along here. I think that's Gooch Road where it says victim's property.
Do you know what property was found there?
Lunchbox, I think.
I know what this exhibit is.
They may be breaking for lunch soon. Because it's almost noon their time.
You could put that down. And I would like to have just put that into evidence.
We did. I'm like, it's 54, correct?
Did you have occasion to work with Mr. Johnny Walker as part of your?
Yes.
And he had certain opinions and had done certain work on this case.
Yes, he did.
And had offered certain theories about what had happened. Is that right?
Yes.
Could you tell the court what you believe to be inaccurate and wrong about his conclusions?
He prepared a report and he wrote it, in my opinion, as factual rather than opinion. He labeled specific roads at specific times that Ollie's phone would have traveled and where it would have turned. And there's just no way that we can determine that at all based on the call detail records that we have. All we know is the tower was used, in which sector was used. His motive is good to try, because we were all trying to figure out what path would we go. But to label that it turned on a certain road at a certain time, we just can't say that.
That's fair.
Um,
That's real fair.
on
See, what people don't realize with these towers is it could give you somewhere in this wedge, in this pie, between this side, and that radius, they were somewhere in there. Now, some towers can get a little more specific and say they were in this area within 150 yards circle area. They can't sit there and pinpoint that house at that time. They can pinpoint a neighborhood, but pinpointing a house, that's not, that technology was definitely not available back then. Definitely not available. Not even today.
Pull you back to page 16 of your report.
Yes.
Not from a cell tower. Now,
At
if you're using Map 360 and some of these other GPS apps, much more detailed information, but not from a cell tower.
11:16 a.m., where was Zach Adams' cell phone showing activity?
At 11:16 a.m.
Yes, sir.
His phone utilized the tower located in Parsons, Tennessee on Sector 2, which is south facing.
One moment. We talked about this earlier. On Zach Adams' cell phone, there was activity, we're fair to say around like 4:58 a.m.
Yes.
From that time, 4:58 a.m. through 8:19, was there any activity on his phone?
No.
Those are my questions.
Just back before you cross, we'll check it right, but I want to clarify something. On exhibits 151 and 153. 153 appears to be the detail of Zachary Adams' cell phone activity, so it's labeled.
Mhm.
And we had the witness handwrite in one SMS text message at 9:50 a.m. from an unknown, either to or from an unknown number.
Yes, sir.
Okay. As the witness was detailing all this cell phone activity, there appears to be multiple communications with an unknown number, whether it's text or phone call. I'm not sure that that matters, but would that be accurate?
Yes.
Okay, so 153 is the activity of Mr. Adams' phone to and from known number.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, so really the addition of that 950 text, was there something specific that you needed? to
No,
point out?
I should have better articulated that, but that's from known individuals that we were able to identify because,
Well, again, that 950 text, was that a known person?
I don't think so. No.
Okay,
It's not.
all right, I'll let you ask the follow-up questions to any of that if you need to.
No, Your Honor.
Okay. Thank you for saying we're going to have this for about 10 minutes. You can take a break if you need to. And I'll discuss your testimony. If anyone further thanks for coming and step down.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
All right. 10 minutes.
All right, we're going to pause it here. I got to go live on the other one. But the temperature here is 41, but feels like 22. That is no lie. It is so cold outside. It feels very cold. You're going to see me talking. I'm going to be starting the live over here. We're going to listen to see what they do on this side. June, do me a favor. I won't be able to hear them. Let me know if they're ending for lunch. I'm muting and I'll be talking.
I'm sure I will.
Okay, guys, this is a perfect time to end this live. We will end this live. We will be watching the Charlie Kirk assassination trial coverage for Taylor Robinson, and we will then come back into this one from that end of the boat. Thank you so much for joining me this morning. Now let's teleport over to the Tyler Robinson, and again, we will watch this particular hearing in between during breaks, and we will keep up with it. Don't worry, you're not going to lose any of the information. Thank you so much again for joining us. Please hop on over. Hope to see you at Taylor Robinson. Thanks for watching. Please comment, like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. I hope you have an awesome day. Till next time, take care.